tell me that he's a man, and I just can't lose. Well, it's alright, it's okay. I'm here to see another day. We can try to understand. Can you look at some back of man? Whether you are staying alive, staying alive. Feelings in the feeling, everybody shaking it, we're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying I'm going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm going nowhere. Somebody help me. Love me, love.
Right, welcome back, folks. Let's get geared up here. And there, I'm not feeling all that hot today. So yesterday it was very brutal, and today has been quite a recovery day. So please bear with me. So as you can see, where'd my magic wand just go? Oh, there it is. This is what the chairlifts look like. A lot of the ski resorts can't open some of their chairlifts because they're buried. The chairlifts are up to the top right there. So you saw that in the intro there. And you can see that we've got quite a lot of snow out here. And let's get on with tonight's forecast real quick. All right, so here we are, March 19th, 2023. Boom, big blast right there, okay? And let's make sure everything coming in clear on the screen. Yeah, it looks good. Hopefully the audio's a little better now. Hopefully the music came in a little better and my voice is coming in better now. Excuse me. Okay, boom, this big blast with an object in it. Let's pause here when it comes out. All right, there we go. And pause right. Whoops, I'm supposed to pause right there. Why did it not pause? All right, let me get something playing in the background here. What's going on here? All right, well, anyways, it's playing again. Let me have my arrow back. Anyways, as this is going, there's our object right there. All right, here it goes. Now it's starting to pause. Let's go back. All right, kind of hidden in the plasma, like they always are. Right here is our round object. As we pull back, you can see it over here in the little dark patch. There's a couple of them. All right, there's one right here at the very beginning. Let's just zoom in on this frame real quick here if we can. Let's do some tint here. You can see our round object is right here. Okay, and as we proceed, boom, it moves on out. There's some other activity going on in there too as well. Let me brighten it up a little bit. All right. Here you can see our object is right here. Just continue to go on. There we go. It moves on out. You can see it making a little dent right here in the instrument. And there appears there's another one over here, but it's so draped in plasma that you can barely see it. So here's a shot of it right about there. Let's see if we can zoom in on this one real quick for you. Okay, here's our little round object right here. Okay, so it looks like there's multiple ones. So this was like a little cluster, it looks like, of these objects here that had moved out and caused a big CME on the sun on March 19th. Okay, let's come on over to this instrument next. And I'm suspecting, yes, it'll have another dip in it. And we had a little M-class flare right before it. So as this was coming down, we had the little eclipsing of the satellite or whatever's happening there. Same thing that happens to me every night at that time too as well. And then it climbs back out of it, and now it looks like we're undergoing a CME, or just climbing back out of the seafloor a little bit is what it looks like. Let's just zoom in a little tighter for you guys. And scooch it over. There we go. Okay, so you can see these dips aren't all the same. Some of them go, a little ways down. Some go really deep. Some only halfway. Some of them are pointed on one side and pointed on the other. This one comes down, flattens off, comes up really abruptly. So if this is the eclipse of the planet between the satellite and the sun, then why is it having different readings and different different intensities and different durations? Well, not the same duration, but I'm talking about down here at the bottom. This flattened out. This one seems to taper. This one tapers on the opposite side. So I would expect to see a similar reading each time. If that were the case, it's the satellite, getting in, or the Earth getting in the way of the satellite. So I would expect to see a tapering, to a point, and then a tapering again as it comes out from behind the Earth. Not this just all of a sudden, bink, now it's back behind, and then it tapers. Then it tapers, and then it, boom, all of a sudden it pops out from behind. What is this? These aren't making sense. See, I understand the timing of them to be in accordance with the eclipse, but the different fluctuations and different intensities do not all add up. And the fact that I keep having this event or whatever is happening to me precisely at the same time and for the same duration. So maybe it's the satellite's, whatever it's doing is affecting my chemistry or something somehow. I don't know. I just know I have these correlations, and that seems to match this. I can't wait until this stops happening. As soon as that satellite stops, or the Earth stops eclipsing that satellite, I can't wait to see those readings disappear. Because if they don't, and they continue, then we're talking something else. And this would be 19 in a row. So here we are. It doesn't show the dip or anything, because I think they took the satellite off of there. This goes 18 long, goes 18 short, and goes 16 short. They took the goes 16 long off of here. It's not even on here anymore. So why did they remove the entire goes long instrumentation off of this chart now? It's gone. It's no longer there. Okay? And that's the same reading that gives us this right here. But now it's magically missing from the deeper chart now. Let's go deeper. I'm telling you. Here, let's zoom in so you can see this, because I'm a little livid about this right now. Okay. These little colored lines, this is the GOES satellite 16 and GOES 16 again. This is the long version, the long wave and the short wave. Here's the GOES 18 satellite, the long wave and the short wave, okay? So GOES 18, both long and short are there, the purple and the yellow. The GOES 16, the blue is there, so we know the GOES 16 satellite is working because it's giving us readings on the short wave. But where the hell are my long readings? The GOES 16 long readings, the most important ones we need to know, are fucking missing from the chart. So let's move on to our next instrument. Slide it over and scroll down. Here's the auroras are kind of fading a little bit there. That's good. I know they're beautiful and all, but they're hella dangerous. If you guys had any idea how dangerous those auroras are, you wouldn't be oohing and ahhing over them. You'd be taking it as a warning sign. Anyways, here, come on, load up this. Here they're showing our blast coming off to the side and going this direction, 90 degrees perpendicular, or 90 degrees to the Earth, which is good because we don't need another blast coming our way. Now, all the blasts from yesterday's seem to have gotten just skipped over. Okay? I lost count. I think there were 5 yesterday. 4 or 5. Not 9, but there were 4 or 5. And I need to know what direction those are going. And there's no readings of those 4 or 5 on this instrument since the blast. So, since yesterday. Yesterday was quite the day, and I explained why in my video yesterday. I'm not going to go into it much more. I have to go get help tomorrow because of my situation now. Okay, let's come on over to the Schumann. We had this big blast last night that we were reporting on. Okay, can I scoot you guys closer a little bit? Yeah, let me try this. Just tab it. Alright, that's about as close as I can get you. Well, what I'm most concerned about is this line right here, our 7.83 hertz. That's the resonance of the planet. That's the hum of the core spinning inside its shell. That's what these are, the echoes of the screeches of the core and the shell grinding together, bouncing off the atmosphere and being captured by the instrument. These are the broken brakes on a car being applied and squealing really hard, metal on metal. And it produces these high-pitched squeals that emanate from the surface of the Earth, go up and bounce off the atmosphere and get recorded on the Schumann resonance. So you can see we've had this little white streak right here. This is a little different right here. This is at a certain frequency, which I believe as these frequencies emanate from the core and they travel up through the magma, they slow down. And then when they hit the crust, they slow down even more. So there's like a layer probably right around here where we're seeing a difference in frequency change or a difference in the readings because now the frequencies have hit the crust, the underside of the crust, and are traveling through the crust. So this little screech right here might be at that level, that lower crust magma barrier, and we're having squeals right there of magma hitting the bottom of the crust and squealing now. Okay, that's what that kind of looks like to me. Now, as we proceed over here, our 7.83 is pumping nice and strong. We're going forward in reverse, which is unfortunate, but nothing can be done about that. The good news is the core is still spinning, because with a strong application of the brakes like this, I would expect to see this fade and stop and not have a line there and just have dark readings all the way down this chart. Okay, and that would not be good. They'd have to yank all the flights down, you know, they'd have to, ban all air travel because the penetrating radiation, our magnetic field is down. I wouldn't be surprised if they said don't go outside, or they quarantine you to your house when we have one of these core stoppage events. I mean, it's spinning backwards inside the shell, which is its natural design. That's the way it was supposed to be spinning in the first place. We were super rotating or over rotating when it was spinning the same way that the crust is spinning right now. I'll explain that someday in another. If I could get my lab, have my lab back, I could make life so much simpler for you guys and just give you diagrams and three-dimensional displays, so it makes wrapping your mind around it a lot easier. Okay, hang in there. I'm doing the best I can here. So, earthquake report. Let's come out. No, not the earthquake. This is our polar jet. Let's go take a peek at the jet, or the polar vortex real quick. And not much going on it, but you can see we still have a split vortex. There's one down here and one up here. This one's counter rotating this one, so they blend together and go right through the middle. So we still have the split vortex. They're a lot weaker than they were when we started reporting on this. Okay, you can see that they've shrank in size and in intensity and stuff. Let's go look at the inflow for this main one. Is coming right off the Pacific and going over and around like that, which creates this eddy or like subdiversion flow that comes down now out of Alaska down the Pacific and is now, is now blending in and going into the southern Mexico region. So you see this big S right here. Okay, that's what's happening. This is way up in the mesosphere. Okay, now let's drop, troposphere, sorry. Now let's drop down into the mesosphere to our upper jet stream. Okay, now this is our upper jet. This is the result of the activity going on above it. You see how all our stuff is coming down from Alaska? It's also joining with this southerly fetch right here and putting it together and throwing up just projectile vomit right at the west coast of America. Okay, you see this? Like I said, this. How do I get all this in the screen here? What happened to my wedge? Around a wedge fell or something? Alright, well, let me back. Oh, I have to back the screen up. That's what it is. I got too close on the Schumann. That's why. My bad. Bear with me for a second, because this is important. You guys see this now. Everything else still lined up. Alright, good. So back to this flow again. Now, as I remove the winds, let me zoom in just a tad bit so you can get reference of the west coast. Here's British Columbia. Here's the west coast and Baja, California. Now, as I undo this, I'm going to rotate it just a tad bit off to the side. And then when I undo the winds, see how this flow mixes with this flow? This pre-mixed cocktail right here is when this mixes with this, and this is a pre-mixed like cocktail being projectile vomited onto the west coast. So we're going to be in for more atmospheric river with cold already combined with warm. It's going to spit some storms. So now, with that, we should have done the earthquake thing. We're going to come over to the forecast because I don't want to lose train of thought here. So here we are at our GFS model, okay? Yes, all our data is here. We are going to lock and load, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your time and dates and everything in here, okay? You know our normal routine here. I got to do this little ceremony so everything goes just right. A little halftime break to thank the Lord for getting me this far. Okay, so we are starting at March 19th. Up in the corner, this is your date, March 19th at 11 p.m. I'm going to start the loop real quick. I'm going to step away, say a prayer, have a smoke, and I'll be right back Watch your part of the country. Yeah, you can see everything. There you go. And I'm going to step away for a second. Thank you, God. So right there's fine. Ow. Well, already starting to rain. Yep, it's already starting to rain here. We've already got like maybe a half inch already. Oh, thank you, God. That's the general look at me one time smoking. He said, man, the enemy saw you smoking like that, they'd run in fear. Alright. Well, here we are, back to the thing. Let's get it at the end of the loop here, pause it, and we'll go frame by frame. Wow. Okay. Let's back up a frame. Here we are. Opening frame, March 19th, 11 p.m. Pacific time, okay? Now we're going to start marching through this one frame at a time. We are currently undergoing our storm here on the West Coast. This is going to be, okay. As this low moves out from the West Coast, it's right here. It moves into the central plains. Here comes another storm. This one watch out for now because we have that preloaded cocktail. This is the projectile vomit spewing into California. Look at this low. Just bam. So it's gonna serve them up and dish them up. The other low travels north. Thank God it doesn't go across like this and do the uppercut. It did a sooner uppercut and moved kind of out of there. So that's good. The secondary low, oops, I think we skipped a frame. The secondary low moves into here with cold air back behind it, leaving this area nice and cold from the snow that they just got. Now, as we continue, this low kind of slows down. It had a little icing event, but then here comes some thunderstorms coming through this region, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, okay, with possible tornadoes in that one. Okay, because that's that nasty low. And then the tail of it drapes down into Alabama, Mississippi, covers into Georgia. Okay, so that sucker, that's into March 24th. Okay, let's back up. This is all March 24th, starting from right about here on midnight, March 23rd, going into the 24th now. Boom. It's just going to come right up into this area, right into New York, the capital area. Oh boy, do I have something to show you that I captured on the Capitol. Oh, gonna freak when you see this. All right, so that's a nasty storm with lots of snow on the backside of it. Some icing event. I saw a little bit of, well, that was in the other one. All right, let's continue as it moves on out. Okay, there we are, March 26th. We have a kind of a clearing, a breather for a moment. And you can see what's coming in over here. Now this storm looks like it's due to hit, well, it was hitting further north, but now it seems to be dropping a little further south. Now from here on out, this model changes a lot, okay? So nothing is set in stone from here on out, but as we progress forward, it's still showing the storm hitting the West Coast. Now look at what it does here. This is this low on March 29th, as it comes marching in, 11 p.m. Pacific, in the morning. It's going to come marching through the middle of the country, and it's going to produce this big icing event right here, okay? That's southern Minnesota, Iowa, parts of Wisconsin, a little tip of, Yeah, Wisconsin. South Dakota's getting some. Oh my God, my eyes are crossing. Need some sleep. All right, then it just continues to kind of plow north with more icing, lots of snow on the sides of it over here. This icing event just keeps going. Okay, that's a dangerous storm right there. Then we have, as this thing is still buzz sawing the half of the eastern half of the country, we got another round coming into the west coast over here. All right, and I expect these storms will pick up in intensity with our inbound objects, and the ones that are currently here. Unfortunately, all my hard work and the dragon is still at the door, just waiting to, just chomping at the bit. Okay, so then the second low does a little bit of icing in the same kind of areas. So you guys are going to be power outages, all kinds of trees down, tree limbs down. That's why I was saying the chainsaws earlier with plenty of gas and stuff. So you can, clear out any branches that are blocking your road so you can get in and out. Okay. So that was it on the weather report. Let's come over to the earthquake real quick. There wasn't much going on. I just want to touch on the San Andreas here. Oh, it changed. It changed in a big way. Oh boy. We got this one over here in Japan. First, I want to come over here. This is what I wanted to talk about here. We have a quake right here, right on the Cusco plate. And oh dear, I was going to report on this quake that was there. Now we've had a total of 3 in the area. So let's tap this one first. Please, Lord. Come on. It's a 4.5 at a depth of 10. Okay. The other one's another 4.5 with a little deeper at 32. This latest one is a 4.4 at a depth of 41. So they started off shallow and are going deeper. So we're having some relief, some stress being relieved here, or in the form of earthquakes right here on the Cusco fault line. This is the one that connects to the San Andreas. Now look at this. As we creep up the San Andreas, you'll see the pressure has been released right off to the side over here, just north of the Salton Sea, where we see this activity before. Out here, let's go topographical, see what's underneath this. If it's volcanic, I don't, well, this is a like an upthrust range, and I don't see like a specific volcanic feature coming to life in that area. So this seems to be pressure being relieved just a little further, a little offset of the fault. Okay, same kind of distance right here, offset of the fault. Okay, at least it's not right on the fault. Okay, going up, and right in the middle of the Juan de Fuca plate. So pressure's coming in here. It won't snap here and it won't snap there. So it's releasing right in the middle. So we're at a 2.8 at a depth of 12. So that's just a little mouse fart, but that is showing that we are having pressure coming in this way, and this plate won't budge on this side or this side. So it's starting to buckle in the middle. Okay, that's what's going on there, and you're having little disruptions, little tremors underneath the middle part of that plate right there. Okay, there was another one over here at Japan, and they have volcanoes and stuff going off over there that they're not really telling us too much about. This is right on the fault line, you guys. Okay, right on the fault line. That is a 4.9. Now we're starting to get into close to the 5 range that is a little more concerning. It's at a depth of 10, so it's another shallow quake. I would expect to possibly see. Let's take a peek at this one just real quick. What was this one? Lord, please, this one. A 4.6 at a depth of 32, and this is a 4.9 at a depth of 10, and this is a 4.4. So we have this 4.4 to 4.5 magnitude pressure along these fault lines right now being released along the way. Okay, and you can see as we come over here, just since my I opened up this instrument, there was just this one quake down here that was yellow that I was going to report, but we've had a new one, another new one, and another new one all along this fracture zone. Okay, so just be on alert for the Bay Area and everybody there. Ooh, maybe we'll go back and I just wanted to see. I think that's it for the earthquake report right now. What's going on there? Turkey had a 4.3 again. And what's this? Yeah. And this. Yeah. All right. So Turkey had a little 4.3. That's been causing the city to sink. They have a city that's on the shore of the ocean, and the Mediterranean is now flooding the city because the earthquake actually shifted the elevation of the city, and now the city is below sea level, and the sea is inundating the city. I had a video of it pulled up earlier for you. I want to check this one. This is the 4.1. This is some of that 4.0 pressure, 4.5 pressure being released right on the mid-Atlantic ridge, the very northern part of the mid-Atlantic ridge. If you go, it goes right through Iceland and it continues up. Okay, usually there aren't too many quakes this far north, so this is a one of those earthquakes in diverse places type thing that's caused by stress on this fault. There's this 4.0 to 4.5 pressure running all along these faults right now. So we might see more of that activity, all right? Yeah, I want to come back to this one. We're going to change this to we're going to change it to the chemicals now. So go to the chemicals and report on the sulfur dioxide here. If I can get that off and pull back, rotate, and zoom back in. All right, let's get rid of these winds. All right, now, as you can see, the eastern half of the country is still bleeding profusely, still hemorrhaging sulfur dioxide, which is a gas that surrounds the magma that's below the crust. So as this pressure from down below with the crust, with the core trying to expand into the shell can't expand because of pressure won't allow it to. Therefore, it expands downward onto the core, causing it to grind. The pressure above the shell is trying to escape. It's pushing magma up to the underside of the crust. Well, trapped in between that magma and the crust are pockets of gas, and that gas is sulfur dioxide. This very gas right here that you see seeping from the ground. There was a report, 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was BP Earthwatch or somebody did one where there was a gas emission, a little CO or sulfur emission in California, and everybody freaked. Oh my God, it's the big one! It's the big one! No, it was just a tiny little mouse fart compared to this right here, and this has been happening for quite a while now. So if you look at this, it's still bleeding profusely, hemorrhaging SO2, okay? The other half of the country's clearing up. Since I looked at this last, this has continued at the same rate, basically, this little area, and everything over here has started to dissipate, except for Salt Lake City, okay? So we're going to do a little quick report on the Salt Lake City area for some Mormon believers out there. See, here's this little plume. in the mountains outside of Salt Lake, and it was just a small little dot. It's blossomed out. It's become like three. It seems to be stretching up this way, back that way towards something. All right, towards possibly Yellowstone. No, Yellowstone's a little. No, no, no. It's a little further forward. Anyways, we have this activity outside of Salt Lake. Then, what's concerning here is this activity over the Bay Area, just north of the North Bay right here. Let me get this pulled up because there's millions of people that live in this zone that need a warning. This is this SO2 coming out from the North Bay Area. What's this, like Vallejo, Vacaville area, just between Sacramento and the Bay Area, okay? Here's Lake Tahoe. This would be like Sacramento area probably here, and then the Bay Area, okay? So this region right here, there's pressure underneath, okay? There's pressure coming in from the sides. There's pressure coming in from down below, all right? So right here in this area, I would watch out for an earthquake, okay? I'm not going to predict earthquakes, but I'm going to tell you that these are indications of stress in this area, okay? And that could induce an earthquake, especially when we have pressure down below at the Cusco being transferred south to north, as well as pressure from the Juan coming in from north to south. This would be almost like a pinnacle point in between the two, where the pressures would come in from both sides and match up. All right, so it's kind of important that the Bay Area watch out right now, because something could happen at any moment there. All right, so we're gonna back out of it. It doesn't look like a very big spot compared to all the rest of them, okay? But there's lots of people in that area, and there's lots of people in this area too. Shit, let's go over here. Look at this. Just off of Lake Erie here, this whole area. Let's back out. What is that? West Virginia? No, no, no. Oh, this whole area right here. Okay, the whole East Coast. Okay, pick your spot and just I don't know. Try to hold your jaw shut. Okay. Okay. Now let's go see what's happening around the world. Mexico, they're still kind of sporadic in this area down below here. If you look, these are all individual sites, not plumes, okay? So they have a little bit of activity. This Yucatan Peninsula been quiet region, but Jamaica has always had a spot going there. Cuba seemed to have calmed down. But then let's get into South America. Look at Venezuela still going off. We got Colombia still. Peru, all right, still going off. These are all individual sites, like I've shown you many times before. See, these are all individual sites. All of this is trapped. This is all gas that's escaping just on the foothills of these Andes mountains here, okay? And then you go all the way down Chile. Look at this. We just keep continuing all the way down. As I pull back, give you some reference. There's the very tip. So it's going down, not as far. It used to be down to here. It was all purple. So it is retreating back up a little bit, but we still have this intense area right here. And we also have this side of South America starting to come to life over here. This used to be clear like a month ago, and lately we've seen it kind of come to life and fill in. I see more filling in this region now, creeping up the Amazon now, okay? Now, let's go see the rest of this. Let's go over to see, first of all, make a stop at Hawaii for my brothers before I get pissed off at somebody else real quick. Oh dear, not good. All right, this is the island of Oahu, folks, okay? And we're seeing another pickup of SO2 in this region again, okay? So possibly something volcanic going on underneath this island. So whatever volcano is on that island, I would stay away from it or watch it closely. Get prepared to evacuate the island if you had to. There's millions of people here in Honolulu. So if this were to go off, it would shut down the airport there or something, you know. Okay, that's a major hub to the world. I mean, back out, that's the hub of the whole Pacific Ocean, okay? So Oahu is experiencing this SO2 emissions. Now let's go look at these fucking assholes in China. All right, pardon my French. I meant to say it a lot louder. Anyways, they're getting what they deserve. They got all this SO2 emitting from the ground right there. Something big is going to happen to China. There's huge pressure, lots of magma pushing up underneath China, shoving out all this gas, okay? What island is that? Oh, somebody was asking in the chat what island is that? Oh, back here that I was reporting on, that was Oahu. This is Hawaii Islands, okay? The Hawaiian chain here. I'm just answering a question real quick during my report here. Here's the main island, okay? This is the main island, really. This is Oahu. This is where Pearl Harbor is. This is for Honolulu, Waikiki, Diamond Head, all that. Okay, this is the population center of Hawaii is the island of Oahu. Okay, and it doesn't have any active volcanoes spewing anything right now, but it does have pressure underneath of it. So I would expect whatever volcano on that island to possibly be becoming active soon, as well as any underwater volcanic features in this zone. Okay, if it doesn't pop out through the land on the island, say it's plugged up, it might do something underneath the water off the shore. Okay, so good question. That was the island of Oahu, and the reason why I report on this little thing, because it's such a major hub. I mean, I want you to, as I back out here, all right, I'm pointing at Hawaii. All right, pull it up. There's nothing in that whole area except Easter Isle, okay, and some other islands over on the fringe here. But basically, if you think of this as a bicycle wheel, this would be the hub right in the middle, okay? So it's a very vital transportation hub, okay? Just because something is, going to America doesn't mean it goes straight there. It has to stop at Hawaii, and then it goes there. Stuff coming from here stops at Hawaii to go there. Stuff from here stops at Hawaii to go there. So Hawaii is like a stopover. It's a major hub, and there's the international airport on Oahu is quite the strategically important hub, okay? And they're having activity, this pressure underneath the hub, okay? So that's extremely important, not just for us, but to the whole world, for the whole world economy, because this whole side of the planet relies on Hawaii. If you don't know it, but they do. Okay? Now, let's get over here to the island of Java. This is my biggest concern because we're having the plume has now shifted. It's more intense up here at this northern end. This is right where the Anak Krakatau volcano is, and we had Mariapi going off still on this island, okay? So lots of pressure, lots of gas coming out of the ground. We have a very deadly volcano that's right there that could possibly go again, okay? You remember what happened at the beginning of January of, was it last year, when we had that sucker go off? Okay? So it's very, very, very important that we kind of track this a little bit, okay? All right, and you can see all these other countries that are, let's just say, non-Christian. They're paying the price now, okay? Especially this region. Let me tell you a little something about Turkey. Did you know that a lot of the money that we're sending over to Ukraine for arms and weapons, they're actually selling them to Turkey and making money? So their little scam that they're pulling over in Ukraine, this is one of the laundering, this is like the laundromat for Ukraine, okay? So they launder all their shit through Turkey, and now Turkey's paying the price for their treason. They're just, everybody's going to be paying the price here for what they've done to God. Anyway, we're going to continue. Italy's starting to pick up a little bit. I know Italy's about to have some they got some a shit storm coming to them too. Anyway, we're starting to see a little pickup here of gas releasing here in Italy now. So watch out for volcanoes in this region, Strombolian type volcanoes like that going off. All right, possible earthquakes in the region. Um, the Mediterranean is rising, and Italy is on the coast. Italy's coast is the Mediterranean, so they might suffer some coastal problems, maybe, we'll say. Okay, enough of this. Oh, I guess not enough. We're gonna do one more gas. This is sulfur quad oxide, okay? I like to call it quad oxide because it's got 4 oxygen molecules, okay? So it's sulfur with 4 oxygen. It's sulfur quad oxide, all right? Now, the reason why we check this is because this chemical also emits from the ground, but can be man-made also. So some of it is pollution, like from China over here. They're very, very bad at their pollution standards, okay? They don't give a shit about the rest of the world. They just take... They're the kid that doesn't pee in the pool. They're the kid with diarrhea who pulls his pants down and just squirts a big bunch in the whole pool and spoils it for everybody, right? So this sulfur quad oxide goes up into the air and it mixes with the water in the air. Now water is H2O, okay? This is SO4. When SO4 reacts with H2O, it combines to make a chemical compound called H2OSO4, also known as sulfuric acid. Okay? You're looking at plumes of sulfuric acid in our atmosphere that come over via the winds. Let's put the winds on for you. Okay? Via the winds, they blow right off of China and they go right to America. See that? They don't even have to bomb us. They're gonna kill us with their diarrhea, with their shit. How's that? And this has to end. Well, it can't now. It's already gotten too far. So we have lots of SO4 in our atmosphere, and very concentrated areas like over China, here in India. You can see let me take the winds off real quick. You can see the different shading variations on this chart, white being the most intense, okay? Now that we know color variations, now as I back out, I want you to take a look at the whole world. This SO4 has circumnavigated the globe, okay? The whole northern hemisphere is just atrocious. The southern hemisphere, not so bad, but it has made its way down there and it's spreading around, okay? Let's go into Java real quick here. It's kind of blinding the camera a little bit, but can I go like this? Wait, maybe if I go that direction. There we go a little bit. Well, maybe a little bit harder. Alright, so here we are at the island of Java, and you can see this SO4 as well as the SO2 is coming out of this island, all right? This island, I'm telling you, watch out. It's already got Mariapi going off on it. And what was I telling you a few days ago? All this pressure and stuff, watch out for this island. And then sure enough, Mariapi blew, right? I didn't have to predict that one. You can see it, the writing written on the wall, okay? That's all I'm doing is I'm just reading the writing that's on the wall, okay? Or I'm trying to do my best to do that for you and interpret it for you. Okay, so we done there. We did our forecast. Okay, I think it's time to move into tonight's gem, which is going to be... Whoopsie, not that. We're going to do a little rehash of last night and its little gem as well. So let me set this up. Should I close with this one? Yeah, and we're going to close with that one. We're going to go into this. This was part of the intro tonight. Please, Lord, can we have that part again? Thank you. All right. We're going to use this guy's report here. This is Jonathan Petramala. And you should come over and subscribe to him. Give him a thumbs up like I'm gonna. Boom, boom. Good job, Jonathan. Way to report. There's some vital stuff that was said in here that I want you to hear the report and what these people were talking about, and then we'll wrap up with the second half of our gem. So let me get the audio hooked up for you guys real quick. I think it was best like that. Crack the volume a little bit and play. Oh, it's muted. Why is it not playing this out? Hang on. We got some kind of other music playing here. We gotta get it out of there. Alright. Let's try this again and let's see if they'll play this report. This is called Living in 55 Feet of Snow. People evacuating their animals, donkeys.
You've been here before, Brony.
I've never seen anything like that. I don't think anyone else has ever seen anything like that.
So that's the same place, right?
Yep. This is so that ski patroller is touching the shivs on that tower right there.
All right.
You got this.
Lumberjack Daniel, that one's yours.
Look at that house. That's the second, first story window.
I can get a little bit of sunlight because it's, if you look up, there's a little view, but...
And the snow doesn't stop. There's more storms on the
So
way.
I just drove by and I saw this ladder and an address up on the tree. There's a house back there, and that's apparently how whoever owns this car gets to their house. So I'm going to climb a ladder to get on top of the snow to try and knock on the door and see what's going on over there, whatever's over there.
This year is already a top 3 snowiest year on record in the Sierra, with a legitimate chance of breaking 67 feet, said in 1952. So I went out to hear from residents how they've adapted to live in over 55 feet of snow and counting, climbing this ladder to make my way on top of the snow into this 1930s snowbound chalet hidden in Soda Springs.
What is this lifestyle like? Like, what's the hacks that you use to make this work? I see the ladder, you do the
Well,
trench.
the ladder is only when it's really bad. If it's not as deep, we try to notch steps into it. The challenge is getting all of our gear and supplies in, kind of plan our meals lightweight. I think we just add water too, and we're not carrying up big jugs of whatever, and pack lightly. Plan on wearing the same clothes for several days, and it's once you get a path in, it's not too bad. And things like the dog.
Getting the dog.
I had to carry the dog up the ladder, so I'm glad my dog's not any bigger.
The previous real season snow record in recent memory was 41 years ago. Ironically, Alan Cobb's first year coming to this cabin.
Is this something that you're like, oh yeah, this reminds me of, or is this something totally new?
That's your first year up here.
First, yeah, that was what,
82.
82? Yeah. I came in not knowing what to expect.
I was there in 82.
Similar situation to this, where I use a ladder to get up and climb in. It's like, this is really...
This is where the beer was.
Yeah. The
Where?
wall is
Where do you
full.
keep the
There
beer?
was walls in there. And,
Go skiing, come home, get a beer in the cabin.
Yeah.
So who needs a fridge when you have a wall of snow?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so...
It's the second story.
this
That's
is
the second story.
and it's level with the railing pretty much. This pipe on that tree, that's our fuel tanks under there.
So some have certainly seen it like this before,
That's
but
the second
never
story.
with our modern cameras and drones to document what this all looks like.
We're kind of grateful to have this kind of year, because we, the whole.
It's up to the
region's
power
used,
lines.
Obviously, this is all gonna melt and fill our reservoirs over the summer, so, obviously, we need that pretty desperately. Hopefully we have more like this, but maybe not quite this extreme.
Grateful, but even after a summer filled with smoke and fires to go along with the drought, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
And you're not sick of it?
No, we haven't been up here enough. I'm not living it. My girlfriend who lives in Druggy, she's tired of it. Yeah, yeah.
But coming to visit's okay.
Yeah, coming to visit's great.
Meet our herd. Hi. And the one that's walking towards us is Lulu. She's kind of the queen bee. Definitely the protector. She's chased off bears. She's been in a fight with a mountain lion. She's pulled the gates down, and yeah, she's a tough one. For us, it's too much of a good thing. I work a full-time job, and but the snow removal has become literally a second full-time job. But the snow removal has become literally a second full-time job. But the snow removal has become literally a second full-time job. And so it's been stressful. I think everybody I know around here that lives here full-time has had kind of breaking points, crying, yelling, wondering why we live here. Hey, this is gonna be way better.
It reached a breaking point with the latest round of atmospheric river storms and snow in early March that forced Gia to make a move with her herd to a smaller but safer pen.
Good boys. Yeah. You like where you're going. You've been here before, Brony. You've been here before, bud.
Just pause this real quick. I see somebody asking in the chat, when is my birthday? My birthday is coming up on the 24th, and I don't want to talk about it, but I'm deeply concerned at what might happen on that day, okay? Because the last few birthdays have not gone well, so I'm really, I don't know what to say. But thank you for the birthday wishes anyway. Hopefully it'll be more than a birthday, it'll be the day I die as well. My birthday deathbed. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. At this rate, I might not even make it to my birthday, but let's continue anyways. Thanks for asking. I love you.
I'll take Morgan.
I didn't take Lulu's off either. Alright. Here, let me spread some of the hay around.
So you can imagine the challenges dealing with these guys when the snow's way above even their heads.
We've been digging like pathways for them. They had icicles all over them. I can show you some pictures. It's been a hard winter for them, but they're donkeys, so they're really robust. We checked on them every day, multiple times a day, to make sure that they were staying warm enough. So you could see that even though they had icicles everywhere, that they were still warm. The innermost part of their coat was still dry, believe it or not. And one of the cool things about donkeys compared to horses is they're such tough, robust animals, and I think that that's probably why they get overlooked a lot of the time. But they're survivors. That's.
All right. Speaking of survivors, you can't just shovel your driveway with 55 feet of snow. You have to bring in a friggin' bucket loader here to dig out your driveway. And this is how people are rescuing each other up in the Sierras. They're bringing out their heavy equipment whatever they got that can move snow. And in this case, they're using one of these excavators to remove snow. Look at this. Look how deep it is. All right, that's a driveway. Okay, that's that's over twice as high. Where you throw the snow? If you're trying to shovel the snow, how you throw it up on top of there? It just comes right back down. You can't put it out in the street. So where the hell do you put the snow? Okay, it's getting, whoops, I don't have my headset on. You guys probably can't hear me very well. So yeah, like I was saying, look at how tall this snowbank is right here compared to these people. This gentleman's probably average 6 foot, okay? So you can see, anyways, how much is on the roofs. They are in dire straits. This is a lot of snow. Now I'm gonna continue. Whoops, I gotta put the audio back over here now.
And you can see, I mean,
it's up to her
they
shoulders.
walked
It's almost
back,
over her
eventually
head.
Walked back and forth.
And how many feet has this gone down since the rain?
This area, because of the wind, was probably, gosh, I don't know, like it's probably gone down 2 feet. That was one of the beams that cracked. So I spent last weekend with my friend with a big giant saw, like a manual saw, not an electric saw, cutting out cubes of snow and ice and tossing them over.
That's a piece of history.
Well, it's actually, this is one of the old logging saws from here too. It was up on my house, and I think the house purchased in the 50s, and it'd be great for removing the snow from this damn roof right here.
That's right. That's using your head. Now you can just remove it a chunk at a time.
Are you sure? All right.
You got this.
Lumberjack manual, that one's cool.
Lumberjack girlfriend,
See,
you
the
got this.
old tool came in handy after all.
Just again, the fear is that things are going to collapse, and we don't want to lose an animal.
All right. Now this is no joke here. This shit's getting serious. All right, I'm gonna pause it right there. Look how tall this gentleman is. Look how much snow is on the roof of this gas station. These structures are not meant to carry that heavy of a load. And when they collapse down onto the pumps. And they shatter the pumps and set the pumps on fire. I showed you a couple of days ago of a fire at a gas station in Tahoe, right where I used to go when I was a kid. Their structure collapsed and took out the pumps. So you might want to get your gas before the structure over your gas pump where you go collapses, okay? Okay, for people in this region that have to deal with this stuff. This guy's going to do his best to get as much of it off as he can, but we got more storms coming. Then what happens? Okay, this is, I'm just reading the writing on the wall, okay? Look how tall this guy is, and look how thick that snow is. You think that one guy is going to clear off all of this snow? And where's it going to go? Down here in front of the store in the driveway where the people got to get gas? We got dilemmas. All sorts of little things are turned into big dilemmas. Look at these people. You got 3 of these guys tackling 1/2 of that roof. You know what happens when one of these guys digs too deep and that whole slab falls at one time? You can't. You got to be careful. These guys aren't tied off. Usually when I do roofs, I tie off. These guys, they have to do what they have to do, but they're not professionals. They're not tied off. I mean, somebody could get hurt here, but they got to do what they got to do.
So we've had several leaks in the house. We had to get some workers over here a handful of times to address the ice dams. So yeah, like leaks in the house. The person that rents above the garage had a huge leak inside and leak, you know, into the walls of the house, which is concerning. And the pig as well. Like the pig doesn't like the snow, obviously, he doesn't like the cold. So constant like,
and then you don't worry about your ceiling caving in or the potential for your ceiling caving in or getting stranded somewhere. Yeah, just focus on one good thing a day.
Do you feel that stress on a regular basis with just those things just in the back of your mind? Maybe not necessarily where it's like really weighing you down, but it's kind of like...
Oh yeah, it's there. And then when you look at the weather forecast and it's snow and rain every day for the next few weeks, yeah, it can be overwhelming.
By sharing videos on social media, Janelle Potvin says it's helped her to focus on the fun by sharing the story from snow in the Sierra. Some of the first pioneers figured that out the hard way.
When we come to the Sierra to cover the extreme snowfall, we come right here to Donner Pass. And yes, that has to do with the Donner Party. This is where those unfortunate pioneers...
And yes, people might get snowbound long enough, they might have to eat each other.
Stranded because of extreme snowfall.
Mm-hmm.
Just
hint,
up from
hint.
Donner Lake at where I'm standing. Now, this statue has a lot of symbolism in remembrance of the Donner Party itself. It sits around 20 feet high. And what makes that so symbolic, that's around the height of the snow that this party was stranded in and later resorted to cannibalism. How do they know how high that snow was? Because it's before recorded history. Well, it's kind of sad in its own right. That's the height at which the trees were hacked for firewood. So as the snow melted after the Donner Party was rescued, right at about 15 to 20 feet is where those trees were sawed off at for firewood. And so that's how we know how much snow had stranded these wayward travelers. It was an early winter, a lot of snow following in the fall and early winter, and that was just too much for these pioneers. Just like today, the repeated atmospheric river events, too much for the travelers on nearby I-80 as that interstate gets shut down and people get stranded and stuck in their homes and can't make it up to the beautiful ski resorts nearby. There's a long history of extreme snowfall here in the Sierra.
As I said earlier, no doubt the Sierra has seen snow like this before, but it goes viral with the video and pictures viewed millions of times because this kind of snow just doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I don't think anyone else has ever seen anything like that in their time here, and we've had some people here for a long time.
It's sort of easy right now to lose perspective at exactly just how much snow there is here. But that's why they have a picture from the summertime.
Wait. This is the bottom of the chairlift, okay? You can't even get on the bottom of the chairlift. The chairlift that goes up, all the chairs are buried in the snow. Can I zoom in on a video here? If you can barely see, these chairs are barely sticking out of the snow. So they have to dig out this chairlift in order to use it. Crazy. So that chairlift is going to be non-functional until some spring thaw, and we are one day away from spring.
No, there is here. But that's why they have a picture from the summertime. So that's the same place, right?
Yep, this is so that ski patroller is touching the shivs on that tower right there.
Do you know how many inches you've had so far?
We're over 620 inches so far for the season.
On average, what do you...
We're over 620 inches so far for the season.
Do you know how many inches you've had so far?
We're over 620 inches so far for the season.
On average, what do you guys do?
On average, we're about 300. Yeah, so we're doubling our average right now, and It's a huge job to deal with, but it's totally exciting.
If you guys...
Okay, so that's the Sierras already up to their ass in snow and going to be over their heads in snow here soon. Now for our closing little segment, this is a little replay of last night. This is very important new sign that has just arrived for everybody to see and to get hope from, okay?
To help us through these difficult moments. Interestingly, just recently, something was seen above Ada County in Table Rock, Idaho. The photograph was taken by the Boise Police Department, who then uploaded it to social media, and it led to some people saying that it was a sign. After the photograph was posted, others then came forward and said that they had seen the same thing, detailing that the object was bright and in the shape of a cross. Due to the shape of the object, some said that it could have been a sign sent from above. Often when there's conflict, those affected will look to a higher power, praying that a peaceful solution is reached so that no one else will be harmed. Whether there's been a tragedy or general hardship, people will often look up for answers, and during many dark times people have said that they've seen or encountered things that will give them hope. In the darkness, there's always light somewhere, and it's for this reason that many people never truly feel alone during these dark periods. What's strange is that while looking at these objects, many have reported that they've felt an overwhelming feeling of joy, as if they've been recharged. One user said the following: "I'll tell you this, there aren't too many moments that a picture will stop me in my tracks. This one did. That cross on Table Rock has meant a lot to a lot of people over the years. I know it means a lot to me. I feel lucky to see it every morning as I drive to work on Overland." End quote. While this user said the following: "Some days are tough, and it can be really hard to drag myself out of the house, but seeing the cross above Table Rock really does help me. It gives me a sense that I'm not alone, and there's something bigger than what I'm going through. Many of us who live in this area are aware of the object, and I personally know many people that it's helped out. When you see it for the first time, it really is the most incredible experience. I've had people say to me that it's not real, and my response to that is, how do you explain the feelings I got when I saw this for the first time? The joy, the feeling of hope. Are those feelings also fake? I can't physically fake the experience I have when seeing the cross." End quote. Another user shared the following story. "My grandfather would wear a cross around his neck, and one particular occasion we were driving through Table Rock. He was a firefighter, and he was telling me about some old stories. One story that he always regrets was when he and his team were attending to a house."
A lot of people don't know this, but if you have the YouTube app on your phone, you could be using it to make
Spare me
up
the
to
commercials, you
$10,000.
guys.
A house fire of an elderly couple. The team didn't get there in time, and the elderly woman inhaled a lot of smoke, which caused her health to deteriorate. My grandfather always blamed himself, and said that if they were a few minutes early, perhaps the outcome could have been different. Just as he was saying how he felt bad and that it was his fault, this giant cross appeared in the sky as we were driving through Table Rock. I remember that he broke down in tears. He viewed that experience as a higher power telling him that it wasn't his fault, and the fact it appeared at the sad part of the story makes us think that something was sending him a message. He said that he's never forgotten that experience, and says that it was one of the greatest things he ever witnessed. He no longer feels bad about the story, and understands that some things are out of his control. End quote. Interestingly, this isn't the first time that a strange object in the shape of a cross has been witnessed, and oddly enough, when researching these cases, many of these sightings occurred just after something bad has happened. Although we help us through these difficult moments.
I want you to listen to something real quick.
Interestingly, just recently, something was seen above Ada County in Table Rock, Idaho. The photograph was taken by the Boise Police Department, who then uploaded it to social media. The photograph was taken by the Boise Police Department, who then uploaded it to social media. The photograph was taken by the Boise Police Department, who then uploaded it to social media.
This photo was taken by the police department from their dash cam, okay? The car turned, pointed at the fence so the dash cam could capture this. This cop was in such shock that he pointed his dash cam at this to record this event. That That dash cam footage is admissible as evidence in a court of law, okay? That's like the strongest um, evidence that they like to use is a videotape, especially from police video equipment, right? It's licensed, it's sealed, they got a chain of command of custody once they recorded something. So this is something that a police officer was shocked enough to record and then report to his superiors, okay? And it's a very important sign. This is our latest, most important sign. I have seen this activity myself around the mountains where I live, and I can tell you 1000% this is authentic. All right? So I just want you guys to understand this is real, this is authentic, this is what's happening, and I hope this brings you guys some hope, okay? Because we're in some rough times right now, and these signs are meant to bring hope, okay? For you believers, they're a little early Christmas gift, okay? Or a little Easter gift or whatever, a little early Easter gift to let you know that your Lord is right here, okay? That's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all, and pray for me because I'm taking it on for you guys, okay? I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. And until my next video, I'll be back.